Bullshit, no time. Free rail, he'll be back in no time. Get money, flip bricks in no time. Dex tripping on the bitch, no time. Amount of time I got for bullshit, no time. Free rail, he'll be back in no time. Get money, flip bricks in no time. Dex tripping on the bitch, no time. Get money, get dollars, bruh. Scrooge McDuck, bang, don't misuse your luck. Fuck the income, I do it for the outcome. I'm in it for the long run. Think about it, then hit the weed and think about it. Like Gutter say, nigga, we gon' see about it. My nigga just got hit, I'm waiting on the word. I pray to God he pulled through for the family sake.
What's up?
What's up? What's poppin'? Hey, yo, it's NateDoggSac916 coming at you live from Sacramento. Hey, y'all know what to do, man. Hit that like, that subscribe, and that notification bell if you want to keep catching my content. And please, share the videos. Let people know where I'm at, what I'm doing. And then hopefully they see something they like, and if they don't, there's so many other places they can go. Thanks for tapping in. I had a question. I'm gonna answer a question from a subscriber, and the question was, can I break down what the levels are in California state prisons? Now, due to the fact that I've only been on level 4, I looked it up, and I found a whole bunch of different breakdowns of the levels in California state prison. However, I found one that I found really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read their breakdown, and hopefully you can get an understanding from there, and then I'll give you my input on that. Now, the first thing we need to think about are the 4 basic security levels that characterize the prisons in California. They are they're conveniently labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? In ascending order from low security to high security. Now, level 3 and 4 are both what can be termed as maximum security. In both cases, the prisons have a secure perimeter fence or a wall. Inmates are housed in cell blocks, and there are armed guards in nearly every location of the prison, including the cell blocks, chow halls, and on the yard. The principal classificatory difference between levels 3 and 4 lies in the locations of the cell blocks. In a level 3 prison, the cell blocks can be adjacent to a perimeter wall, and in a level 4 they cannot. Obviously, this relates to the security, the prison, and the types of prisoners the CDCR wishes to house there. But we'll get to that in a minute. Old Folsom, where this writer lived for a couple of years, and the subject of many of the stories of his blog, was a level 3 prison when he was there. Level 2 prisons are typically called medium security prisons. Level 2s are called medium security. We obviously know that. Prisoners usually live in an open space dormitories instead of cell blocks. There's usually an armed secure perimeter fence, and there may or may not be armed guards in the common spaces, but never in the actual housing areas. Sometimes the backside of the housing units are actually parts of the prison walls, as there were at the level 2s in Jamestown, where the writer spent a handful of months in 2009. Now, level 1 prisons are minimum security. Inmates live in dormitories, and there may or may not be a perimeter fence. There are no armed guards at a level 1 facility. Sometimes level 1 prisons are called camps, as they often look more like the summer camp facilities we may have been to as a child rather than prisons. This writer spent 3 years in a level 1 prison, in a level 1 fire camp in Southern California, a facility reserved for inmates who are part of the statewide wildland firefighting program. Yes, California inmates fight fires. There are different types of prisons. Okay, so that's basically his breakdown, which I can appreciate since I've never been to any of them, right? So now let me give you the NateDoggSac916 breakdown, right? Okay. So if you go to prison in California, the first thing you're going to do, very first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to a reception center. Me, myself, I went to Tracy, dual vocational institution, located in Tracy, California. In this type of facility, they go through all your medical, all your background, everything. And what they do is they classify you to determine, due to your crime, your education level, work experience, gang activity, prior violence. All these things are categorized and classified into determining what level of prison they're going to start you out at, and as well as how much time you received. Anybody who was sentenced to a life sentence, anybody who's sentenced to 15 years or more, 15 years or more, will be sent to a level 4 prison yard as their first mainline yard. Anybody who has been sentenced to 15 years or more will be sent to a level 4 prison for their first term, for the first beginning of their term. Now, if they're to do good for the first year or two or whatever, they can go down to a level 3 depending on the circumstances. There used to be a point where lifers couldn't go down below level 4, but now lifers can go to whatever level they want depending on their points. So then you got level 4 and level 3. Level 3 is still designated as level 4 yards is where they send initially, like I said, 15 years or more. That tells you people getting sentenced to 15 years or more, predominantly you have some kind of violent crime, a murder, robberies, assault with a deadly weapon, these type of crimes that carry larger sentences. Like these dudes, like these child molesters and rapists and stuff like that, these dudes slide by because a lot of times they don't get sent to level 4 prisons. It's their first offense. They look at a child molestation. I don't know what the classification of it is, but they give these dudes a slap on the hand and give them a year or two, send them to some camp, and they do their little camp time and go home. Right? But violent criminals, violent crimes usually go to a level 4 first. Now, if you're a violent criminal and you go to a level 4, and it wasn't an accident, that was just the kind of person you were, you're going to end up spending some or most of your time on that level 4, because if it's already inherently in you to be on that type of time, you're in the right environment to be on that type of time, because you got a whole bunch more people, most of the yard, that's on that type of time too. So it's nothing for them to get it popping with each other, right? All right, hear me out. So to get down to a level 3 from a level 4, you have to have no write-ups, no trouble, no incidents. And depending on your point status, it might be for 1 year, 2 years. It depends on how many points you started out with. I personally started out with 69 points. At the time, you needed 52 or below to go to a level 3. I started out with 69. But I went up from there. But that, we're not going to talk about me. We're talking about the levels in the prisons, right? So in order to go down to level 3, you need to go during my time, you had to go 52 or below to go level 3. I believe they restructured the point system, and I think it's higher now, but I think it's in the 60s now where you can go to level 3. But to go to a level 3, you have to be good. You have to not get in trouble, right? So if you're already on a level 4. Now, depending on your time and the classification score you get initially, you may have started out on a level 3. But to go to a level 3 from a level 4, that means you didn't get in no trouble. You didn't get any write-ups. Because you get a write-up, you get points. You get in a fight, that's 4 points off top. You know, you get a battery on inmate with a weapon, that's 24 points off top. You know, they're going to add 24 points to your thing. A battery, 24 points. Class A write-up. So your points go up. But every year in prison period, no matter what yard you're on, every year you go to your annual classification review. So if you don't have a job, which means you're A2B, which is a classification moniker they use. A2B means you're someone that's on the yard, you don't have a job, you're isolated to 1 phone call a month, and you that's it. And you're isolated to if the So I think they raised the commissary limit, but A2B is like half of what the people who are classified as A1A can get per month. A1As, when I paroled, were allowed to get $220 a month at store, and they were able to get a phone call every day. It didn't matter. So that's A1A. That's a privilege group. That's what it's called. But all A1A is, if you get a job, if you get enrolled in education, anything like that, that means you're programming. So you give you A1A classification, A1A privilege card, right? You actually, there was a time when we used to get separate privilege cards as opposed to our IDs. So a red one, I think, was A1A, and a blue one was A2B. I think you had to have a red one if you were A1A. And then you had your regular green one, which was your standard issue California Department of Corrections identification card, right? So if you're A1A or A2B and you go to your initial class, you go to your annual classification score committee or your annual classification committee, you get, if you had no write-ups in a whole year, they will take off 4 points if you're A2B, and they will take off 8 points if you're A1A. So imagine if you have 140 points and you go to classification for not getting in trouble for a year, and they only take off 8 points. So if I have 148 points and you take off 8, I got 140. So I had went up so much during the time that I was messing up that I couldn't have got back down. It didn't matter. My points would have never got back down before my sentence was up. So in order to go from a level 4 to a level 3, that's how you do it. You have to be good that many years straight, depending on how many points you have. And the same thing from 3 to 2, 2 to 1. It's all about your points. Sometimes when you're close, so say that the lowest you could be is 52 to go to level 3, and I have 54 or 55, then I can apply for an override. And depending on my program, I may be considered. You know, I can apply for let's say this level 3 yard has a vocational program that I'm trying to pursue. I can request from the committee that I get a level 3 override so I can go participate in that program. A lot of times people get it, sometimes people don't, depending on your past history in your central file. I don't even know if they still have paper C files, but they still have C files. So my thing is this, is like, if you got somebody that's, I don't know, making videos or doing whatever they doing, saying they was in there about it, doing this, doing that, and they was on a level 2, view the previous information I just provided. This is just a quick short video. The brother asked me to break down levels in prison. That's the basic I know about the levels. I do know that that clip that I read in the beginning is the best breakdown I can imagine. But to me, for me to go back into a convict's state of mind, to me, if you wasn't on level 3 or level 4, you was and you was a gangster, you was soft. If you was supposed to be a gangster, if you was gang related, you was active, and you was on a 2 or a 1, to our minds, you wasn't with the stuff no more. You had gave it up, you quit, whatever. Not necessarily like, I'm not referring to like SNY or nothing like that. You're not trying to be involved in nothing no more. You're not trying to get in trouble no more. And that's, you know, that's to be respected if that's what you want to do with your program. But we ain't looking at you like, oh, bro was turned up in there. Nah, bro just did his time. That's what he did, which is not a bad thing. A lot of people just come and do their time, and that's respectable. You know what I mean? Do your time. You ain't got to be with the bull crap. A lot of people got the misconception that in order to be a gang member, you got to be in there turned up all day, every day. Come on, man. Just like a lot of people got the misconception that just because somebody went and did a whole bunch of prison time, that makes them tough or that makes them a gangster. That's not a fact. You can go do a whole bunch of prison time and still not be no gangster, man. And still not be tough, man. So no matter what else you do, man, stay loyal to yourself. I hope this was informative enough, and I hope the sound is better. I did some tweaking on it.
Bullshit, no time. Free real, he'll be back in no time. Get money, flip bricks in no time. Dex tripping on the bitch, no time. Amount of time I got for bullshit, no time. Free real, he'll be back in no time. Get money, flip bricks in no time. Dex tripping on a bitch, no time. Get money, get dollars, bruh. Scrooge McDuck, bang, don't misuse your luck. Fuck the income, I do it for the outcome. I'm in it for the long run. Think about it, then hit the weed and think about it. Like Gutter say, nigga, we gon' see about it. My nigga just got hit, I'm waiting on the word. I pray to God he pulled through for the family sake.
What's up?